Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. This is a rainy day. I'm under the awning. No better time to do a campground review. That's what I'm doing. Today it's Lewey Lake, a DEC campground in the southern Adirondacks. Follow along. Alright everybody, welcome back. If this is the first time you've seen my channel, please subscribe down below to follow my adventures. But today is a campground review of the DEC campground, Lewey Lake. Lewey Lake is located 12 miles south on Route 30 from Indian Lake and 12 miles north on Route 30 from Speculator. If you come in from Indian Lake, there's going to be a series of signs that you're going to see that are going to confuse the heck out of you because it did it to me. The first sign you come to says Lewey Lake, and it says it's on the right coming up. Alright? The next sign you come to shows this, and it says Lewey Lake, and it has the boat launch sign to the left. But that actually takes you to the Indian Lake Island campground parking area. It's not a boat launch on the Lewey Lake. And then the next sign you come to has Lewey Lake again with the arrow pointing to the right. And I was like, well, which way do I turn? If you go past all three of those signs, you will eventually, the next turn is the main booth area for Lewey Lake. It is confusing coming down through. If you come from Speculator, the signs are correct. If you come from Indian Lake down Route 30, the signs are kind of confusing because it's telling you to turn right, then left, then right again. So I wanted to start with that. If that was confusing, that is not the campground's fault. I'm not going to hold that against them. That's the New York State DOT that put those in. But how I score campgrounds in 5 categories: 0 to 10, 0 being the best, being the worst, 10 being the best. 5 categories are inner roads and sites, facilities, bathrooms and showers, amenities, what they have to offer, staffing, are they courteous in doing their job, and then price point. The price you're paying, worth the other 4. Okay, so let's start out inner roads, sites at Lewey Lake. So Lewey Lake is spread out a lot. There's when you pull into the main booth area, you can go down, you can go to the left, that takes you back into some sites. Go to the right, that takes you into some sites. There's sites across the road. There's a road that takes you in there. And then there's a road further down where I stayed by the bridge that you can pull down into there. All these roads you can take a big rig on, but they are narrow. Some of the roads are one way, so you won't meet anybody. But there is trees right next to the road, sometimes in a turn, and the road just isn't wide enough to make that move out to get around it. The loop that I stayed on was traveled both ways, and if you met each other, somebody was going to have to back up because there was no room to move over to let people pass. And especially if 2 fifth wheels or something met. Then there's some good-sized campers coming into my loop. So most of it's one lane. The roads are old pavement and stone. There are rutted in areas. Typical DEC campground. You know, they're in the pine forest areas where the roots stick up. The roots are sticking up in the road. They're cracked, they're potted hold down through. The site that I was on I was able to back in pretty decently, and minimal leveling. Now the sites don't have water, electric, or sewer or anything. They're just where you park your rig. And there is a picnic table and a fire pit, and that's all they have to offer. The roads can use some improvement, and I think the roads where they meet each other, definitely need some improvement, because there's no way, if two people meet that aren't confident in backing up campers, there's going to be an issue. So inner roads and sights, I gave them a 6, even though my sight took minimal effort to level. There is some sites that are, when you go to back in, that you really have to jackknife your rig to get it in there, because there's no room across the road for your nose of your truck to move out into. I was lucky there was a closed site across from me, and so I was lucky enough where I could make the swing around without damaging anything on the camper. So inner roads and sites, Lewey Lakes gets a 6. Facilities, bathrooms and showers. The loop that I was in has a fairly new bathroom and shower area, and they are kept clean. They are supplied well with soap. There is no paper towels. They have the hand dryers, the blowers. I checked out all the showers, and the first 2 showers I walked into, I was like, yes, they got 4 hooks and there's a bench. But then some of the other showers only had 1 hook. Still had the bench here, but minimal 4 hooks in a shower. You have to hang your towel up, you have to hang your shower bag up, you have to hang your clothes up that you're changing into, and you have to put the clothes that you are wearing somewhere, because if you put them on the floor, they're going to get wet and dirty even worse. So there was good hot water, but I did notice driving through the park that not all loops have a newer modern facilities. They have some of the old DEC toilets, but everything was functional, everything worked well. There's water spigots around where you could fill your camper up or fill up jugs. So I give them a 7 on the bathrooms and showers. On to amenities. Now, it's a typical DEC campground. They have a beach area. They rent kayaks there. They have an enclosed pavilion area where you could probably, I think, sign it out. There's picnic tables set up in there, screens in the windows. They sell firewood there, and they have many trails around the area. I think Pillsbury Mountain is not too far. Snowy Mountain's not too far. There's a lot of paddling opportunities. They have Lewey Lake there. They have Indian Lake across the road. Down the road, there's the Jessup River. There's Mason Lake down there. And if you keep going down towards Speculator, you get into Lake Pleasant and Elm Lake. So there's plenty of things to do at the site. It's a good base camp area. I did not see a playground for kids anywhere, but I think for DEC campground, they're mainly people stay there to go do other things, to go hiking, to go paddling, to go fishing. So amenities, I'm giving them a 7. On the staffing, the facilities were kept clean. They do come around and clean out the fire pit that there was after people leave. There was trash cans around the park. They weren't overflowing. They looked like they were kept up. So the staffing I talked to was courteous. They were nice. They seemed to be doing their job well. I did try to talk to the caretaker there, and he was nice, but I think he had a lot on his mind that day. I'm not going to hold it against him, because I think there was a lot of people coming in and out, and he was trying to keep track, so I decided not to ask him my questions that I normally ask. So I'm giving, they're doing their job. They seem to be doing their job, so I'm giving them a 7. Price point, it's a DEC campground. You can't beat the price, $15 a night. I stayed there for 3 nights, and you know, it's a place to park your rig, base camp from, and that's what I did. I think it's a fair deal for what is offered, so I gave them a 7. So that equals a 34 out of 50 for a 6.8 final grade. Incidentals of this campground is there's no cell service there. I had 0 cell service there. gas and groceries, come prepared, because there is no gas station close by. You either have to drive down to Speculator or go back up to Indian Lake. Groceries, the same way. Everything's over 10 miles away. And it's a continuous bear alert there. So when you get there, you have to sign a thing that you're not going to entice bears and you're not going to leave food out. And they do say the rangers patrol the park continuously. I have not seen a ranger at any of the DEC parks I stayed at this year patrol any park. So you do have to take your precautions with bears. If you try to draw them into your sight, that's a big no-no, because a fed bear is a dead bear. Leave them alone. They're great animals. This one here tried to follow me home. Just kidding. It's Photoshop. So 6.8 on Lewey Lake. That's a review. Alright folks, you watched all the way through. Thanks for that. If you liked the video, make sure to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button down below. Continue to follow the adventure. And remember, folks, tomorrow is no guarantee for any one of us. So disconnect from that Wi-Fi, connect to this out here. You won't be disappointed.